How's it going, guys, and welcome to today's video. The weather is perfect and the field conditions are right to get this hay planted. So that's what we're doing today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Because I don't have a GPS equipped tractor, the first thing that I have to do is set out my bag rows so that when I'm putting out my fertilizer and my seed, I'm keeping everything straight and I'm not severely overlapping or underlapping. I've tried orange flags in the past, but really when you're at the entire other end of the field, there's nothing that's easier to see than a white paper bag. So that's what I use. My goal is to get these bags about 30 feet apart because the swath width on my spreader is 30 feet. Now you may notice from the video that I'm not actually measuring out with a tape measure to get these bags exactly 30 feet apart. But I figure one of my steps is close enough to 3 feet that if I space the bags 10 steps apart, that actually gets it really close to 30 feet. Is that a precise way of doing things? No, it certainly is not. But like I said, I'm putting this stuff out with a broadcast spreader, which is not a precision piece of equipment to begin with. So in this case, close enough is close enough. Now that all my bags are out, I can go back and get my tractor, hook up the fertilizer spreader, and start putting the stuff out. I've got this spreader hooked up to the tractor and we should be ready to go now. Usually I would be filling out of that blue tender back there, but the company that I get the fertilizer from sent me this new fertilizer that's supposed to work better. So we're going to try that on half of the field, and they sent it over here in the tender, so that's why I didn't have to fill it. But yeah, everything's ready to go. I think we need to get out in the field. Now that I've got all the fertilizer spread out on the field, I need to load 3,500 pounds of seed into this spreader and spread that out as well. I'll put a drone shot up right now, and as we fly over the field, you can see all these lines. Those are actually the tracks from the tractor and the spreader while I was putting the fertilizer out. So now while I'm putting the seed out, I don't have to concentrate so hard on lining up my bags and driving straight. I can just follow my tracks from before. I will also point out that as we look at these tracks from above, they are pretty straight, and although not as perfect as a GPS, for a small-time farmer, I think they're pretty good. Let me get all this seed loaded up and I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm planting. I can get about half of the seed in this spreader, and that's good because what I like to do is load half of the seed, put it out, and then kind of gauge where I'm at in the field. If I haven't made it halfway across the field and I've used half of my seed, then I know I need to make some adjustments to that spreader so that things come out right on the second half. Today I'm planting what is called forage mix or three-way. I think three-way is just kind of like a regional term. That's what people around here call it. But what it is a mixture of oats, wheat, and barley. Now, to be clear, that is beardless wheat and beardless barley, and that makes it a lot easier and more palatable for the animals when they eat it. Sometimes I like to dig around through the seed here once it's in the trailer and just see that I can spot all of the 3 different things that should be in here. It's kind of hard to point the seeds out on camera to you guys, but I see all 3 of them there. The big ones are the oats, the little orange ones are the wheat, and sort of the medium-sized ones are the barley. The fertilizer was going on between 180 to 200 pounds an acre. The seed is going to go on at 100 pounds per acre, so I need to make some adjustments to the spreader before I get started. I'll spare you the calculations that go into figuring out where these different things need to be set, but basically, in a nutshell, once you figure out a few things, this table will tell you where to set this gate. Now, I'm pointing at the gauge right now. The gate is actually right below it. And if we look down here underneath, you can see as that gate opens, it's going to allow more material to flow out on the conveyor chain, which is going to give you a heavier application. On the other side, if the gate is closed more, it allows less material to flow out, which lightens your application. So since we were just putting on fertilizer at 200 pounds per acre, and I want the seed to go on at 100 pounds per acre, I need to close this gate down a little bit. The adjustment is actually pretty easy. I just need to loosen that, which is going to require a wrench. And now I can move my gate closed a little bit. Now just tighten the lock nut up and we're ready to go. The spreader is full and I'm pretty sure the gate's set to the right spot, so let's get back to work. I just got done putting load number 2 of seed into the spreader. The first load went a little bit past the halfway point in the field, so I opened up the gate on the spreader just a little bit, and I'm hoping that the remainder of the field comes out just right. I don't know how well you guys can tell on camera, but it's actually starting to get a little bit dark out here, and I'm honestly not sure what time it is. I didn't think it was that late, because it doesn't really matter what time it is. I'm going to be out here until this job is done. We're in for rain for the next week or so, and if this field gets too muddy, there's no way that I can get out here to spread seed and cover it. So it's kind of got to happen tonight. Guys, we're out here again. It's the next day, obviously. We ran out of daylight, and that's kind of unfortunate because I was not able to film any covering of the seed because I did all of that at night. I did get finished. I got finished at about 12:30 last night, and if you look out the window, you can kind of see why I was in such a rush to get this done, why I wasn't willing to go home at a normal hour like a normal person might do. But yeah, that's because we are getting rain today, just like they said we would. And I think since last night and through this morning, we've gotten over 1.5 inches of rain out here. That may not sound like a ton to some of you guys that live in other parts of the country, but for out here, that's a pretty good storm. And no matter where you live, 1.5 inches of rain makes it a little bit too wet and sloppy to get out there on the tractor. So it's a good thing that we got this done. Everything actually turned out pretty good. I definitely had a moment at probably 11 where I was thinking, boy, an equipment failure right now would really be catastrophic because I'm not really sure what I would do. that would have been a mess. But luckily that didn't happen, and everything worked out good. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. So thanks for hanging out in the field with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.